Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So it's been about a month since the NBA trade deadline. So for today's video, I thought it would be kind of fun to grade it 1 month later, man. Like in this small sample size, how are things going so far? So yes, we do have a tier ranking right here, man. We got all the major trades, at least I think so. I did not create this myself. But let's go ahead and get going on this. So the first one we have is Nikhil Alexander-Walker on the Utah Jazz. Now, I believe he has not played essentially at all for the team. So I don't know if it's just like a rotational thing or whatnot, man. But yeah, he's played 4 games, averaging 2 points. I mean, the focus of the trade was, I think, around getting rid of Joe Ingles, freeing up salary cap right there. He's still getting a good young guard out of it. So I mean, I'm gonna give it a D. I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of it, man. It's not the worst trade in the world yet, but we haven't seen anything happen. So it's hard to give anything higher than that. Next up, we do have Marvin Bagley of the Detroit Pistons. So I've been a huge fan of Marvin Bagley thus far, man, in the NBA season for the Pistons. Played 5 games, 13 points, 4 rebounds per game. Outside of that, man, he's pretty much been like an inside pick and roll type of dude. Got some decent post moves, man. I still want to see more of the jump shots, which it doesn't look the greatest, not gonna lie, but he can knock it down in certain moments. But overall, man, for giving up Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson, it's been a solid B. I've been happy with Marvin Bagley's production thus far. Next up, we got Bol. He's been injured, so it's really hard to tell here. So, I mean, I'm just gonna put an F because he hasn't played. So, but not really that big a deal. Next up, we got Tori Craig, man. Tori Craig of the Phoenix Suns. At least I am 92% sure that is Tori Craig right there. And with the Suns this season in 9 games, 5 points, 5 rebounds, man. He knows the system and everything. Now, I will say they did get rid of Jalen Smith to get him on the team, who I've actually really liked quite a bit over on the Indiana Pacers. But that's been a pretty average trade. Like I said, we're not really basing off of who they gave up. It's how the player's done in return. So that's how we're basing this, man. Next up, we got Spencer Dinwiddie of the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, too, was traded with Davis Bertans. So, we'll kind of put him in the mix here, too, for the grades. So, in 7 games, 1 star, averaging 18 points, 5 assists per game, man. I'm not going to lie. I was not a supporter of this trade. I didn't really think that those two, that being Spencer and Luka were, a good fit next to each other. And a big part of it is because Dinwiddie can't knock down a 3-point shot, but guess what? 41%. So I would say, historically looking at his stats, it wasn't a bad take. It was some honesty to it, but he's literally playing exactly how he needs to play for this to work. And I haven't really seen Davis Bertans, how's he been doing with the team. Let's pull it up real quick because he's a piece too. 7 points, few rebounds per game, 3-point shot. Not the greatest at 34% for a guy that was paid to shoot threes, but that's all right. I'm going to say this is an A trade. No, it's been pretty S tier, man. He's been the perfect fit next to Luka Doncic. It's been great. Next up, we got Tyrese Haliburton. So this one I really don't even need to look up because he's just freaking amazing. I know he's averaging 20 and 10 or something like that. But, okay, 19 points, 10 assists per game. In 10 starts for the team. Franchise player, if I've ever seen one. Sabonis, he's cool and everything, bro. But Tyrese Haliburton is the Pacers' new direction, and you love to see it. So here we go, man. That's an S-tier trade. Next up, we got James Harden. We know exactly how he's been doing. Amazing for the Phoenix Suns. Not Phoenix Suns. That'd be a crazy team, though, man. James Harden and Devin Booker. The Philadelphia 76ers. I have no idea why I said the Phoenix Suns there. But, okay, so far he is averaging 27 points, 12 assists, man, which is his career high. He's averaging his career high in assists in 4 games, for what it's worth. And 8 rebounds per game, man. Looks like, old Houston Rockets James Harden is back, except this time he's playing with the process Joel Embiid. Yeah, I was a big fan of this trade when it went down. I know they gave up Seth Curry. I know they gave up Andre Drummond and everything, but I don't know. I thought those guys were replaceable to some extent, especially without Tyrese Maxey been playing. That's an S-tier trade so far, man. Next up, we got Montrezl Harrell. So I ain't going to lie. I don't even remember who Montrez was traded for in this case. I forgot what the trade was. It was with the Washington. I think it was Ish Smith and something. It was I don't know, not great. He's averaging 14.7 rebounds per game. Not playing as good as his 6th man of the year days and everything like that, but still 14 and 7 for a backup center. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. You can't really complain about that. The Charlotte Hornets did need a guy like that on the team. I would say he's been what they needed. I'm going to give it a B. That's a solid B trade. Next up, we do have Joe Ingles. So for the Portland Trail Blazers, I know it was, they're trying to free up salary cap to build around Damian Lillard in a new way this offseason. So, yeah, Joe Ingles hasn't really played. I mean, he's been injured and stuff. They still gave him Nikhil Alexander-Walker, but it's like a D. Like, I don't know. Like, you could say, like, see, like, average, like, it's doing what it needs to do, but it's whatever, man. Next up, we got Kristaps Porzingis. So, he's only played his first game with the Washington Wizards. I think he had like 25 points, like 5 rebounds, something like that. So, I mean, he was knocked down his 3-point shot, but he knocked down some post fadeaways and stuff like that too. But I will say, like, for the most part, what I saw Porzingis in that first game is a lot of what we expect out of him at this point. He's a 7-3 shooting guard. Some days he's going to knock down that shot. Other days he's not. In this case, he did for the Washington Wizards. And we have just not much of a sample size at all, man. So I'm going to give it like a B because he did have a really good first game, good first impression. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Next up, we got Charis Levert, man. How has Charis been doing over on the Cleveland Cavaliers? Yeah, he's played 4 games in the 14 games. No, I'm sorry, 4 games. Yeah, that's right. It's his foot injury, isn't it, man? Damn, bro. It's always that foot with him. 13 points, 4 assists per game, 1-2 steals. I also just heard the bad news about Jarrett Allen and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I feel really bad for this team right now. Charis not shooting the greatest at about 40%, 28% from 3. Like I said, very small sample size. Like, he is scoring, but scoring and not being efficient is actually more of a bad thing in my opinion. So I will say early on, I mean, he's like provided like scoring, a little bit of playmaking. I'm gonna give it like a C so far, man. So far in 1 month. Next up, we got CJ McCollum. So I can pretty much not even look at this to know that it's probably going to be at least an A tier, man. I know this dude was putting up some mad numbers lately. Yeah, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists per game in 10 games with the Pelicans. And it goes back to my take of the last few seasons of CJ. And that's, he was always shadowed by how great Damian Lillard was. Like, CJ McCollum has a similar skill set, but it was just never as good as Damian Lillard, and now he's the man. With Ingram over there, like, Zion got to get things going. You got like a good solid big 3 over there for the next few seasons, man. I'm gonna say it's been pretty S tier for the Pelicans. Next up, we got Norman Powell on the Clippers. So he was brought on the team with obviously Kawhi and Paul George being out to give a little bit more scoring and everything to the squad. And yeah, he's been out for a bit here. So he's played 3 games. That's right. He played those 3 games, played really good, and then had injuries. So in the games he's played, 21 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds per game. Like, those are near borderline all-star numbers, I would say, in today's league. But if you're not healthy, it's not great. So based off what we've seen, it's been good. The injury's not great, though. We're going to give him a B for that. Next up, we got Sabonis. And I'm pretty sure Sabonis is just like putting up Sabonis numbers. Like, he's doing the same thing he was doing on the Indiana Pacers, and that's just play really solid basketball. So it says he's listed as a power forward. I'm pretty sure he's been playing more center for the Sacramento Kings, if I remember correctly. But 17 points, 13 rebounds per game, 6 assists. Yeah, offensively, a beast, can crash some boards. Once again, not a master defensively. I do think this is the case where you somewhat have to look up what they gave up in Tyrese Haliburton and what they got back, and like, Sabonis in the short term is nice and everything, but I still don't know what it's going to lead as far as like winning for the Sacramento Kings in the short term of things. But overall, he's been good, man. I would say that he's been A tier. He's been an A tier player for the Sacramento Kings early on. Next up, we got Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder of the Houston Rockets, man. I thought he was going to get balled out or something, but he's been out with ankle injuries. Played 6 games for the Rockets, averaging 10 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds per game. I mean, the scoring's not really there, but, I love the 8 assists. I love the 5 rebounds. He's definitely trying to play into a good contract for next season. He started 4 games, so I'm actually curious. Was like Kevin Porter, like, been moved to the bench, or are they doing Jalen Green at the 3 spot? Like, how are they operating with that? What I do know is this team did need some playmaking. Like, Kevin Porter, Jalen Green in the backcourt, wasn't quite it. He's been fine, man. Like, I'm gonna give it like a C. He's like been like a C tier player. Next up, we got Serge Ibaka. Blocking some shots, man, with hopefully the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Serge Ibaka, man. So he's played 8 games, averaging 6 points, 6 rebounds. Ain't really blocking much of anything, man. Also, that 3-point shot's not going down. I would say at this point in his career, if Serge knocking down his 3 and at least like blocking at least 1 shot per game, it's not great. Yeah, I'm not digging these numbers big time, man. I'm really not. But I'm gonna give it like a D. Could be playing better. Next up, we got Ben Simmons. Okay, so with Ben Simmons, I think for this one to talk about, we do have to include, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. I'm going to give it a C for now, just because we don't really know what Ben Simmons is like, or we don't know what he's going to be like with this team, if he's even going to play this season. But we've seen Seth Curry, we've seen Drummond play, and that's enough for me to at least give it a C tier right now. And obviously going up or down that tier is based off of Ben Simmons does have an effect for the Brooklyn Nets in the short term. Next up, we got Derek White. I don't think he's been playing the greatest for the Boston Celtics, unless he's been having some nice games, like yesterday or whatever. I know what Tatum had 54, so I'm going to guess he probably wasn't getting too many buckets that night and not watch that game. But 11 points per game, played 10 games so far. Yeah, efficiency's still really not there. The playmaking's fine. I think he's been, I think the last game he was actually, no, 9 games he's been a bench player. He's only started 1 game. So really he needs to be a guy that can average, maybe 13 points, 5 assists, 2-3 rebounds off the bench would be a big-time W. Not quite there yet. I think he'll get there in time. I do like Derek White, but for now it's been a D. He could be playing better too. And finally, we do have Thaddeus Young. I saw the other day, I think it was against the Cleveland Cavaliers, that he was playing, so we know he's been getting a little bit of PT. Played 8 games so far, averaging 6 points, 4 rebounds per game, 1 or 2 steals at the power forward position, and 3-point shot. Not really shooting too many threes, about 1 per game at 54%. Good role player numbers. Can't really give it any more than an average, though. That's good numbers for the Toronto Raptors to have on their squad. So that's my ranking, man. 1 month into the season since the trade deadline. The second season, we might call it. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.